Researching for these poems never fails to throw up strange surprises, and while I generally veer far away from placing any reliance on Wikipedia articles, the one on sonnets from the Portuguese led me to an extraordinarily charming anecdote found in Sir Edmund William Gosse's work Critical Kit Kats, and for that I'm thankful for the internet and the nice people on it. Robert Browning and Elizabeth Barrett Browning had a clandestine courtship, one that ended in marriage and their moving to Italy, and its passion, intensity, and tension eventually found rest in Elizabeth Browning's writing, specifically her sonnets. And yet, per Edmund Gosse, Mr. Browning in particular had not the smallest notion that the circumstances of their betrothal had let Miss Barrett into any artistic expression of feeling. That probably had something to do with their insistence on keeping their creative product to themselves. Until, of course, Elizabeth Browning supposedly snuck up on her husband and slipped the papers in his coat pocket for his reading, asked him to tear it up if he did not like it, and fled the scene. Robert Browning was so very overwhelmed that he dared not reserve to myself the finest sonnets written in any language since Shakespeare's. It was Elizabeth Browning's refusal to claim authorship of the work, particularly in the interest of the privacy of their relationship, and his nickname for her is his little Portuguese, that rendered the body of the work the name that it has now. The poem is written as a Petrarchan sonnet, a poetic structure that dates back to the Italian Renaissance and is named after Francesco Petrarca. The Petrarchan sonnet is 14 lines long and is usually clearly divided into a sestet of 6 lines and an octave of 8 lines. This poem follows a rhyme scheme of A B B A B B A, C D C D C D. The narrator requests that she be loved only for love's sake, not for the smile on her face or the way she looked or the way she spoke with a gentleness or because their thoughts didn't seem like that of two people but that of one. These things were by themselves fickle and volatile. They would change or be changed to please one another, and love built on these would quickly unwind. And yet she doesn't want to be loved out of pity, to have her cheeks wiped dry, because if she forgot to weep, she would lose his comfort and his love. Love had to be only for love, and that love would outlast time itself. Love isn't very easily explained in literature. We are met with grand metaphors. It's as bright as the sun, as wide as the sky, as deep as the ocean, or with ornate descriptions of the emotions it evokes. An unexplained misery, an aching pain, a boundless joy. But what does love in its truest form mean? That is the subject of this sonnet, but it goes about this in a slightly different way by describing what true love isn't. It isn't an infatuation with the outwards or an emotion born of the human instinct to simply care or a comfort in knowing that there's someone who can think as you do, while never quite establishing what it actually is. As for poetic value, if that doesn't already derive from its timeless nature, I'm a particular fan of the ellipses employed in the octave. And I know it's rather obscure, but it's almost as if she's scrambling for explanations for this all-encompassing human force. There are instances of alliteration like in line 12, thy comfort long and loose, thy love thereby. She also makes use of enchantment, a poetic device where a piece of verse spills over to the next line. And apart from all of this, there's of course the way that the whole poem is addressed and not just returned to an absent listener, presumably her better half, Robert Browning.